InkTV is out here hitting the streets out in New York to meet some of the best players around. Today we're going to be meeting Zero, Mr. 3000 XP himself, king of NA, best 10 tech on the block. And let me tell you, when he gets going, there's no stopping him. He's got all the passion in the world and nobody can stop him. So let's go out. Zero, where you at, my man?
Yeah. Whip beat 007 like I'm sophisticated. Fit on me expensive foreign fabrics, I'm sophisticated. My girl bad as hell, I wipe that shit, she so sophisticated. My life so sophisticated, so sophisticated. Yeah. Cavalry all black, my team stay escalated. Your shit way too dry and tastes I stay marinated. My shit real big brain, you tryna copy, can't be imitated. I feel so sophisticated, so sophisticated. On my Bezos shit, this baby is the whole package. 16 flights of 2 weeks, move with no baggage. Collecting up a million from my own language. Fairly swift, that's a whole lot of damage.
Zero, nice to see you, man. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, glad to have you here to join us.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah. So, like we said, Mr. 3000 XP himself, only person outside of Japan to reach 3000 X power in Splatoon 2, and you still hold that record today. Nobody else has been able to touch that.
No one has. Yeah.
So how long has it been since you've gotten that record?
About 3 years. Yeah. I got it in October 2019, so it's about 3 years.
All right. And when you first got that, did you think like nobody else would be able to break that record?
I personally thought I thought it was going to be a sense of me getting it would give a spark to other players to get that and challenge themselves to push for 3000. I thought we would have 1 or 2 people to claim that, but you know, I think that seeing no one still being able to do it, and now we're in the new game, I'm shocked that no one was able to compete with it.
Yeah.
So,
how long do you think it's going to take until someone reaches it in Splatoon 3?
I honestly think it's not going to take long since it's easier in this game. With rewarding points, you gain like 120. So I feel that you're going to gain, someone's definitely going to hit it, but not right away. Good. I definitely will go for it and try to get it again. Maybe I'll be the first NA, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I believe in you. You've done it once, you can do it again.
Yep.
I did it. Let's talk about some other things outside of, I guess, Splatoon. What is, Zero like outside of Splatoon? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Well, normally I used to be a big artist. I used to draw a lot.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah. It was when I was younger, since it was kind of like a family gene. My dad knew how to draw my grandma, and they kind of taught me. So I grew up doing that. I used to be very athletic, so that's where my competitiveness got me. So doing a lot of basketball, baseball, soccer. Growing up, oh my goodness, dude. It would be the same way I am here.
Yeah.
So it was just worse because I was younger. So there was no leash to hold me back. But as I got older, I was like, I kind of like competitive and getting into all this. Once I got into Splatoon, I kind of looked at more technology-wise, like game design and stuff like that. So recently I've been messing with a lot of computers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Kind of switched growing up.
Nice.
Where do we go from here? Don't let it rule you.
Something I have to talk to you about. Last time we saw each other, Big House, 2022. Maybe one of the most entertaining sets I've ever seen in person. So it was, you were on Sayonara, you were versus Kyo's pickup team, and the trash talk back and forth between you two was absolutely amazing. I've known you guys each probably like 5-6 years now, but like not everybody in the crowd knows the relationship that you and Kyo have.
Yeah.
So like, I'm looking around and like everybody's thinking, are these two gonna fight?
Once you know they're dropping you after the tourney. No, you're talk shit. You don't have a 10. Bro, I've been playing for 2 years. Yeah. You haven't played for 2 years because you don't have AFK.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. That's kind of why I stopped talking, because I was like, wait, no one realizes we're close friends. So in every competitive game, you're gonna trash talk each other, and that's okay. It's a good thing. You want to have kind of a, not a full-on ego, but something to build your confidence and go against the enemy team. And a lot of us, we all grew up together, so we all trash talk each other and say we're all bad at the game. And we all knew his jokes. That's why we laughed and hugged it out after, because we knew it was all a big joke. But a lot of people did not understand that. So we kind of were like, wait, I don't think this is good. We kind of should stop, and we just laughed it out. But
that was amazing. I thought that if they just put that, forget about the commentary for the set. If they would have just put you two, back and forth talking. Oh man, that would
I personally thought it was really funny, and we did it again in losers, and I laughed so hard at the end, even though I lost. And I was like, whatever. He's gonna start trash talking me, and I'm gonna do it back, and we're just gonna laugh later on. So now it's a good memory.
Get down in the car, one time give it all, bust it open hard, let me see you job. Get down in the car, one time give it all, bust it open hard, let me see you job.
I mean, let's address the elephant in the room. You did leave Sayo not too long ago, and went back to its teammates that you used to play with in Destiny Bond. And you guys, right off the bat, first tourney together, qualify for the Boston tournament by Nintendo.
Yep.
How's that feel? Take me through this whole process.
Okay.
You left Sayo, now you're with Destiny Bond again.
There's no bad blood. There's no bad blood with Sayonara. Love them all. Sun, Q. And me and Jared just wanted to stick together since we planned on making a team from the beginning, even before PAX. Like we planned, after PAX was going to happen, we said, let's decide making a group. And that didn't work out, which was okay. Then Sayonara came up. So once we chose to leave, we already had in the works our team, Juan, Bliss, Wally. They already decided we were going to play. And I thought in my head, we dominated a bit in 2020, and we're such a loud and fun team together. So I honestly thought that going with them again would be really fun and great, because it's you get to see a lot of excitement and a lot of screaming, which a lot of people like to see, because it makes the game very hype, and it also brings out a lot of motivation for a lot of the players. So like last night we went crazy winning. It wasn't even on stream. We have it recorded, but the endless screaming and the countless of our tables going crazy and monitors going out, just because of the fact that we were screaming our heads off and we won and qualified. First tournament off the bat, which was amazing.
Well, you kind of addressed it there, all right? So there's a little bit of a difference between, the passion that was on Sayonara versus the passion that you guys play with on Destiny Bond.
Yeah.
How important is it, for you to be in, a hype setting with your teammates, and how much does that help you perform?
Personally, I'm a big momentum player. Even though my mental, even if I'm upset, I can still perform well. But with a specific team, if you know you're a momentum player and you can constantly have your team hyping you up, the rush and adrenaline of that can bring you and your team together. And if you guys are constantly coordinating everything and getting each other hyped and constantly winning your fights and games, it's going to bring your morale and everything up. So players like Bliss, Juan, Wally, they all get loud just as much as I do, and same with Jared. So with all four of us screaming our heads off and hyping each other up, it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
Sayo did get hype, so Sayonara did get hype with Q and Sun. Sun got hype, Q would get loud, but not like us. But it's not the same compared to them since I've known them longer. So it's more of a bigger bond, funny enough, haha, Destiny Bond. Yeah. But
Bond that never breaks.
Bond doesn't break. 2 years later, we're still back. But with them, it really does feel like a family, and we just can scream our hearts out and no problems will happen. So no matter what, we have each other's back and we will play our hearts out with a bunch of passion. So that's really good for the game. And it's very exciting to watch, because even looking back at old videos and last night, we were like, wow, it looks amazing. Even though it's just the NA Open.
Yeah,
it's still
put on a show.
And now we go to Boston, so that's something big.
All right. I want to touch on something that might be a little bit of a sour spot for you.
Okay.
All right. So you have this little bit of a reputation that, you know, you'll always be second place. You know, you're one of the best players out there, but when it comes down to it, you can never quite get over that hump of beating the best team at that time. You know, why do you think that is? How do you address it moving forward? And just, you know, how do you feel about that reputation? Do you feel like, you know, it's accurate? Do you feel like that's what describes you? And
I mean, personally, I see it makes sense. And yeah, a lot of people will see me as, oh, he's just second place. But I do got a lot of results, even though it's second place, having top 2 in almost every event is still amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to get first. And I've gotten it. I've gotten an NA Open championship. I've gotten in all modes. So ranked and turf war, even though that's not a big deal, but it's still funny.
A big deal.
Yeah. And also 3,000, which is something still no one has gotten. So I can still hold that to a lot of people. And my individual mechanical play alone is still really good. So even though I do get second in a lot of things, my mindset for myself is to always, don't let that kill you. You have to have the mindset of never giving up. Even though it sounds stupid, it's still something that can push you to getting better and better no matter what. Because I started out in this game horrible. And I pushed myself beyond anything I could do. And I kept going and going and didn't let anyone stop me. And because of that, I got to where I am.
Yeah.
So even though I'm second, I could definitely get another first place. I've gotten it before.
Yeah.
So hopefully Boston is a place where we prove that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, you just showed right off the bat, first tournament together, you know.
Yeah.
And I think you guys got a lot of growth from here. So I want to, you know, touch on something you mentioned a little bit there. All right. So when you first started this game, I guess, take me through your introduction to competitive.
Before I even started playing, I got the game. My dad brought out the game and he goes, hey, try out this new shooter that Nintendo came out with. It's called Splatoon. I was like, okay, it doesn't look that good, whatever. And I wasn't a big kid on shooter. Like, I did play Call of Duty and other games like that, but this one looked weird to me. So I played it. After a while, I was like, wow, this is cool. And going into competitive, I wanted to get S rank back then. And when I did, I was like, you know, I kind of want to try competitive. I wanted to see how well I could get at this game, since I was doing really well and I was dominating ranked and everything. So I thought maybe I could try competitive, since I am a very competitive person myself in anything I do. And when I got into competitive, I believe it was on Battlefy. I went to Battlefy and found a random tournament, and it was a 2v2, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll play it. I won, and I was like, whoa, okay, I like the rush. So I got Discord, I got everything. That's when everything started building up anyway. So I wasn't far behind, but I was still learning. So I feel that like going into competitive, it was just random, but also fun at the same time. Because I was also 13. So that was young Zero screaming his heart out saying, I'm gonna be the best no matter what. And that gave me a goal since I got into competitive. And I remember, if any players do know this, Deep Blues was the very first scrim I ever played in. I don't know why we played them out of all the people. And
pretty hard one for
we got dominated, but I was holding my own. So seeing that for myself and knowing they were a top team, I was like, I want to get better than them and I want to be at the top. And from there, just excelled to now.
Yeah. So when was that moment that you were like, was it a tournament win or an event in particular that you were like, damn, I'm really good at this game now. I'm one of the best.
When I realized I was good at the game, it was in 2016 with my very first team. I made Nexus with a bunch of players who don't really play anymore, but we grinded so long for like 4 months. And back then Ludi was super big. So getting into like A division was amazing. And that was our one goal, get into A division to prove ourselves. And we almost won. We almost got into qualifier. We lost to Power back then, but it was still something we were proud of. And that was from there was, we know we're good, so we need to keep pushing it. And then from there, I joined Quantum, which later on was my team for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And with them, we dominated a lot of events. Like, even though we didn't win certain things, we took down a lot of teams left and right. And we won a lot of weeklies and side events. We got second place in, I believe, G7 which was an online event. We lost to Team Olive back then, which is Dude and all those players. But that also was a spark of we're on top and we need to hold it because they were EU. So no one was above us from NA. And then we kept dominating from there. And then obviously FT1 came in, but they were our rivals. So that was good for us.
Let's talk about Quantum.
Okay.
So Quantum was obviously a team that was revered for, like you said, 3-4 years. You guys eventually got sponsored by Demise.
Demise, yeah.
So what was that like, you know, being, I guess, at a time where, you know, there were a decent amount of sponsors in the scene. We had Ghost, we had STDX, and then there was Demise, Low-Key. What was it like being, you know, one of those maybe like top 4-ish teams all sponsored together and competing at the same time?
I think personally for me, and I could probably say this for all my teammates back then, when we went to that event, the first event we went to as like a LAN, we literally were getting sponsored right before the event. Like it was 3 days before and we were like, oh my God, we're getting sponsored. So we went as their name to prove like we were gonna do good. And it put more weight on my chest as well since I'm sponsored now. And I didn't understand it more back then since it was a little different, but back then my head had me as, wow, I have the rep and I have to hold it now. And we have to do really good to prove that we can keep it up and hold our own and make sure the sponsor wants to keep us and things like that and get whatever is possibility from them. So we got second place. We beat STDX, I believe, which ended their run back then. And we also beat, I think it was Hive, right? Deep Blues.
Oh, Hive.
They were Hive, yeah. They also got sponsored as well. So it was all 4 sponsors, top 4. So that was amazing. So getting top 2 and knowing that we got better and beat the team that we wanted to for so long, since we lost to them in a North American Nintendo Open, our redemption from there was just like, thank goodness we got that and we proved ourselves. So from there we just were like, let's keep it up and let's keep going.
So many more people coming around, there's nowhere for Power to go, and that is it. That is the game, that is the set, and that is the match.
Zero waiting so long, fighting so hard, playing second fiddle at so many lands, and you can see right there, let's go, fist pump all over, working so hard, first trying to be the best T-Tech in the West, as he called himself, then trying to be the best player in NA. I'll let you all have those discussions, but one discussion that is not debatable is that Demise are your champions of Summer Splat 2019.
You mentioned it before, you know, you've got a lot of top placements in a lot of tournaments. You've won a bunch, second place in others. But what is the end goal for Zero? What is the goal that's like, you know, I'm happy with my time? Have you reached that point, or is there something that you're still aiming for that it's like, I don't want to retire until I get this?
So I personally don't mind. I got my NA champion, which I was fighting for like 4 years. And I honestly forgot about it when I won. So I was kind of like, okay, cool. I got my NA champion. I got that. I got 3,000, which no one still has gotten, which is amazing to me. I completed something for the community. And it kind of like, I wanted to use that as an example to show that if Japan can do it, so can we. Because let alone Japan does amazing things and they go out of their minds when they play in tournaments. I also wanted to be one of those people where I show that we can always do this and they're not going to outskill us. We can always compete with them. And we have with many things. So I think the last thing for me, I've completed almost everything. The last thing will probably be World Championships. So if Boston is somehow championships, I did it.
Yeah.
If not, I will go out of my way to get there. If I don't, cool, we have another chance and we'll go again. Because that's how you gotta be. You lose, you learn from it, and you grow, and you wanna keep pushing it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's grown as much as you in such a short time. The things you've done, just pretty incredible.
For Power, there goes the armor. Armored Inkjet, this is patch 1.0 all over again. Get 2, can he get a 3rd?
Zero is going off the big double. That was so smooth.
You've been playing since Splatoon 1 a little bit. Went bonkers in Splatoon 2, took a long break.
Yeah,
and then
about 2 years.
Yeah, and then now you're back for Splatoon 3. So what brought you back? And you know, we kind of touched on it before, your goals, but what is it about Splatoon 3 that drew you back?
So I was not planning on coming back. I genuinely was talking to Kyo one day, funny enough, the guy who I fight with.
Yeah.
Funny. And he told me he might need a 4th for one of the events. And I said, are there any prizes? Because if there's a chair, because I know there was old events with chairs, I need a new one. Mine has been breaking down. It broke on me when I was like playing my games. So I said, if there's a chair or anything else involved, maybe a headset too, I'll play. He said, yeah, there's everything in there. And you get a trophy and everything. I was like, oh, okay, I'll play. We played, we won. I got my NA champion there. And then I was at work and they're spamming my phone. It was like a few weeks later. They're all calling me, Ice, Brand, all of them. We're going to PAX. And I was like, what are you talking about? We're going to PAX. I checked Nintendo and they said the top 4 are going to Washington to compete for Splatoon 3. And I was like, whoa, this took a whole new turn. So even though we didn't practice as much and going as Mad Titans, we got second.
Yeah.
That kind of gave me like a drive to come back. And playing the new game, seeing how more fast paced, it reminded me of Splatoon 1. And I didn't mind Splatoon 2's playstyle and meta, but for me as an aggressive frontline who likes to take duels and win every fight, Splatoon 3 looks more like that. So seeing that made me more excited to play the game. And I just got a huge rush for the game and said, I'll come back and play and see how it goes. And now that everything's building up again, it's amazing. Perfect timing for me, I guess. And now I'm just back ready to compete and hopefully represent the community.
Nah, yeah, we're glad to have you back, man.
I appreciate
it's not the same without you. So.
I don't try to ball.